So y'all, today is September 17th and it finally happened. So let's get into this daily rant of the day, okay? Now, I don't know if y'all been under a rock, but I've been talking about this since the beginning. Actually, I've been talking about this even before it got started. I mentioned it, and I don't know if it went over y'all head, but if you've been under a rock, which none of y'all is under a rock, you may know. If you don't know, go look on any of the gossip blogs. They have arrested Diddy. Now, actually, you know, like I said before in a previous rant on lives, that since 2007, I've side-eyed Diddy because I became friends with Mark Curry when Mark Curry wrote the book Dancing with the Devil. So I kind of knew what was going over there at Bad Boy. I was not really hyped about the revolt. I was not following that. A lot of people were still sticking beside him because he was Diddy. I guess because he had money. I guess because he was a gatekeeper. And they wanted to stay, you know, job secure and secure in the industry. So they kept writing for Diddy. But me, if I find out something about a person, no matter how rich they are, no matter what position they have, I'm off them, right? Because my moral compass will not allow me to be co-signing and fangirling or fanboying somebody that I know is a bad person. Not only for my energy, but also for the state of my demographic, my entire demographic as a whole, right? So they arrested Diddy. The feds arrested him. I guess he's been indicted. And we've watched this case basically unfold since November of last year. But it goes a little deeper than that because the industry, y'all know I always talk about why I left the entertainment industry. But the industry is now in shambles. If y'all don't know, a lot of people from Rock Nation and a lot of people from Atlantic Records and Warner Music have been dropped, have been fired, and it is basically a shit show when it comes to the industry. Now, this Diddy case is only the beginning of what you will see trickle down our whole childhood, teenage, 20s, 30s, whatever you thought it was, you about to find out that it wasn't that, and everything that was going on behind the scenes was very low vibrational, very demonic, and just tearing people's lives apart. Now, Diddy got indicted, arrested yesterday. So today, because I'm already in the next day, because, you know, I'm in Turkey, so I'm 7 hours ahead of New York. But today, you will be able to go and find all of the documents from the indictment because that stuff will be public records. Now, 50 Cent ain't did his due diligence yet, and I know everybody ran to 50 Cent page when it happened. But 50 been telling you, I've been telling you, Nicki been telling you, everybody's been telling you that really who you thought, Diddy, Puffy, Sean Combs, who y'all thought was this icon, is really somebody that needed to be questioned. And speaking of questioning, y'all seen Eve put out a statement talking about what happened with her and Jay-Z, right? So I'm pretty sure Sean Carter now is like trying to, I ain't trying to be in that mess because guess what? If they got Diddy, that means that anybody who was anybody is liable now to get caught too. It was a lot of shady stuff going on in the industry. It's still a lot of shady stuff going on in the industry. And for me, I really couldn't see myself being a part of the industry any longer because my soul, my life, my real life, my consciousness was more important than being invited to a red carpet, going to an industry event. And not to mention, it ain't no money in the industry no more. I'm trying to tell you, the publicists, if they haven't switched over to corporate, if they haven't switched over to business, if they haven't switched over to politics, they suffering. And the people who are making it, trust me, they willing and dealing and doing whatever to keep food on their table and a roof over their head because it's getting real. We're going to all watch this unfold. And when we do not be amazed. Do not be flabbergasted. And believe what you see and use discernment. And that's my thing. That was my biggest thing with when I have these conversations with y'all. You have to use discernment. Just because a person has money, just because a person has fame, Just because a person has connections does not mean that they are a morally righteous person. You have to use discernment with all of these entertainers, with all of these actors, with all of these moguls. Hell, even with all of these athletes, you have to use discernment. Because if you use discernment, this stuff with Diddy would not have surprised you. The stuff that Eve said about Jay-Z would not have surprised you. The only thing I'm laughing at now is the people that I know in the industry that was in Diddy comments that was ratting for Diddy. And now this is unfolding. And it's like, so I'm hella side-eyeing you. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm side-eyeing y'all. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much money a man has, if he don't have respect for the people outside of him, that shows you he don't have respect for himself. Diddy has not showed us any restraint. He has not showed us any discipline. Hell, he ain't even helped to bring forth and promote the black family unit. Sorry, the black family unit. He got a bunch of baby mamas, a bunch of children all over the world, and showing us that the most important thing, what was he acting bad? The last song was Act Bad. Yeah, he acted bad. And just think that this is what was programming our generation. So then you wonder why we have a high rate of single family homes, divorce, and black men who have not taken on the responsibility of taking care of their families. Because we have people like Diddy pushing this narrative on us, making us think that it was cool to act bad in their 40s and 50s. And then you got Remy Ma coming in too. Like, I'm just over it. And I am so glad that I left the industry. I'm so glad that I separated my son from that, because my son was an artist. I'm so glad that my son decided to not be in the industry and to go another route. I'm so glad that I got out when I did. And I'm so glad that I disassociated myself with 90% of the people that was in the industry with me. Why? Because they doing the same thing. They drinking, they smoking, they being promiscuous. And what is that getting you in your 40s? It was time to make a change. I had to make that decision in my 30s, and I'm so glad that I did. Imagine if I had been chasing the Revolt dream, or the Rock Nation dream, or the Atlantic Record dream, or the Love and Hip Hop dream, which we're going to do a whole rant tomorrow on Love and Hip Hop, because I need to address that too. Okay. So anyway, let's watch this story unfold with Diddy. I will be sitting front and center, me and probably academics. So anyway, that was my daily rant for today. If anything else comes up as the day unfolds, I might do a part 2 to this daily rant, because it's 12 o'clock here, 12 p.m. It ain't even got to the bulk of what's going on over there in the United States. So I'm going to be tuned in. I'm going to be on YouTube, staying tuned to DJ Academics, checking my Google to see if the indictment papers have come out. And I will keep y'all informed as we see what happens with the diddler. And so all of you industry fellas that thought it was cool to have this type of attitude, to have this type of, morale, to think that it was cool to be disrespectful to women, think that it was cool to be, hypersexual with women, and thinking it was cool the way you was treating them. You see, now every dog has his day. So if y'all wonder why I cut y'all off, this why. And to the fellas that I know that was riding for Diddy through all this, you cut off too, bruh, because you lame. And you know who you are. All right, I'm out. Peace.